Thank you for listening to Sense of Real Talk. We're going to go right into the segment. We were cut off short, so we're going to be talking about the press conference and more with Doc Holliday. Up next here as we enter the superhighway. And we're going to like it like that. More after this.
As the ones who determine the next president of the United States, they throw it right back into the House of Representatives. Well, that puts the monkey on their shoulder, so to speak. And with more Republicans than Democrats, most likely President Trump will be given another 4 years.
Okay, George, let's back up a second because we had a problem with the recording. We got it all situated now. Basically, your Doc Holliday, you go into character so that they know a little bit about our avatars. We love our avatars. And what we created over the summer is that we started talking about what's going on in America. So you basically just outlined how it leads up to the Supreme Court. Do you think it's going to lead to the Supreme Court? I mean, what's your sixth sense about where this is going from the press conference today?
Well, I'll tell you what, Jenny. Again, using the metaphor of Doc Holliday, the analogy, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
We had a lot of courageous men back in the 1880s. Doesn't seem like there's that many in modern times. Everybody's looking for a rock hide under or a way to pass the buck. So I see it going to the Supreme Court, but unless I miss my guess, they won't do the right thing totally. They'll do it halfway and kick the can down the road, so to speak, and put it back in the House of Representatives because they don't want to be labeled as a court that elected the next president. So I think it will end up going through the Supreme Court and then bounce back into the House of Representatives where most likely Donald Trump will be elected the next president by virtue of that process. And, of course, that will not eliminate all the chaos that's going to go on in the country because all the Biden supporters are going to scream that they were cheated, and the Trump guys are going to be elated, but there's still going to be conflict in the country. And as I said, the wisest way to handle this is in the first step where Biden and or the media and any of the lawyers who did this scam come out, fess up, and tell their supporters, yeah, we tried to scam, we tried to steal the presidency, and we didn't get away with it.
Do you really think, though, after listening to what happened today at that press conference, after how old it was, that the media can hide this from a section of the average listener on the broadcast? I mean,
well, the sad truth of it is they're stupid enough to think they can. They're like the little boy that sticks his head in the sand because he can't see anything. He thinks nobody can see him. And they think, because they don't put it out over CNN or MSNBC or those other networks, that nobody knows what's going on, how wrong they are. With all the alternative media you guys have in the modern world, the truth is going to get out.
I watched it on Breitbart.
Yeah. So, it's typical of the thinking of anybody that came up with this scam had to be naive or stupid or crooked or something to think they could actually get away with stealing a country like this.
Oh,
they had to be foolish people, and if they think they can hide the truth about it and cover it up, it just confirms how stupid they are. Because it's not going to be covered up, because it's going to influence all future elections in the United States. So, again, I was asleep in my coffin, and all of a sudden I got to come back from the 1880s all the way back here and straighten this mess out. But the boss said, you got to do it, Doc. You're the only one that can. So Doc Holliday popped out of his coffin and come back to dispense some good old 1880s wisdom, like if you get caught, fess up like a man or a woman, whatever, and admit you tried to steal something and you didn't get away with it. if you try to steal a horse and you don't get away with it, just fess up. If they hang you, they hang you. Or they might have mercy on you and say, well, at least you admitted to it. But,
well, you overall think that we're going to wrap it up here. I just want to give you a few more minutes to say that you've been following this regularly, and
right.
social media has a lot of influence, and so does the media. And you saw the Senate hearings, and you saw a combination of how the media has been trying to vote. They basically handed it to Biden. Now, they're not the ones that determine who the president is. The determination is not made by Fox News. It's a determination that should not be made by anybody else but by the voters only. So this is how the fraud was perpetrated. And they continue to do this. They continue to call him president-elect when we haven't even got to the Electoral College, the vote that goes on December 14th. So I guess they must think the public is stupid.
Well, I think that sign, the president-elect, would be beautiful right over top of his jail cell, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
That's an indication of how audacious and how egocentric this guy is, that not only does he think he's president-elect, but he commits a crime, and he's so proud of it, they even got to get him a sign in Leavenworth and post it right over his jail cell when he's doing 20 to life for election fraud.
Oh, wow.
I don't know whether he was directly involved or knew the full details of what was going on, but so I say that with tongue-in-cheek. But the point is that this is the crime of the century, and it was put together in a juvenile, stupid, sophomoric way. And the old saying, beware of ill-begotten goods, well, beware of ill-begotten elections, because this presidency thing is a big, big job. And unless you can really handle it, you shouldn't try to take it on. You guys have a thing called the Peter Principle, where you're promoted 1 or 2 steps beyond your ability. Well, Biden is not capable of running this country.
Oh, no.
Donald Trump is. And for him to try to steal the country is a little like the old cartoon of the chicken hawk, the little bird that thinks he's a big bird and keeps trying to do things that are way beyond his capability. Well, we have that going on right now, and all I can say is I sure hope they do step number 1 and fess up, and I can go back to my coffin and sleep. Or if they don't do number 2 or number 3 and have it go on through the Supreme Court back to the House of Representatives and let the country go into chaos if that's what they really want to see happen. Because
I think that's what they do. I think they really want to see this country tank. And
well, that is the long way home, Jenny. Sometimes the shortcut is the long way home. And if they want to throw the country into years and years of chaos to get to the same place it would have gotten by just fessing up, taking their punishment, and saying, we tried to steal it, we didn't get away with it, we didn't pull it off, here we are, slap us on our hands or whatever you want to do, but we gave it a try to beat this guy by hook or by crook, and we just couldn't beat him.
In the long run, it's going to be worse for all of them if they don't.
I think so.
In the long run, the long arm of the law is a lot different than swift justice.
Well, a lot of people are going to get hurt in the process. If there's chaos,
yeah.
You know what happens when you have street demonstrations never ending on both sides.
Which reminds me about what happened on the MAGA rally with the man whose head was stomped. It is outrageous.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
We could be here for a few more minutes if you want. I just want to thank you for taking the time to, you and I have a really good way to correspond with each other. We correspond every day, once a day, sometimes more. But you always have your finger right on everything, and you use good words like, it is audacious, as you stated earlier, that had thought that they could get away with it,
Yeah.
and they're still trying to get away with it,
Well, it's the happiness of the simpleton, I call it. Whenever you're such a simpleton that you think you can just walk into a store and steal something and not get caught, that's audacious. That's stupidity. That's the intelligence of a simpleton, and that's the people that were talked into doing this. And a lot of them, were in on the fix. The media, the lawyers. I mean, there's probably thousands of people that participated in using this virus to try to get states to change their election laws to favor Biden, and then this Dominion software. You can imagine the number of people that got convinced and sold this ill-begotten bill of goods, and now, of course, they're closing their offices and running away like thieves. You know that, the Dominion people that can't be found. They don't want to be found because it's like,
oh yeah, they disappeared. Oh yeah,
it's just disappearing.
They cleaned their offices out, and they're no longer where they were before. And there's so many moving parts to the story. I want to end here. Just say one last thing. When you and I were talking earlier, we had tried to record this earlier, and it was difficult recording it. But we're back here. It's Censored Radio. I'm going to have you on periodically, Doc Holliday, just for updates on things like this. I mean, hopefully this might be one of the last big news conferences, but I don't know. I just think that now we're in the phase of the courts. So,
well said, Jenny. I think the only thing I would wish is that maybe I'll have a T-shirt made up with "Office of the President-elect." Something weird like Biden. I can just make myself Office of the President. It's such a farce, such an ego trip, and so completely humorous that I think it would make a great T-shirt, don't you?
Oh yeah, did they ever have anything like this? They never had anything like this before. What an elaborate piece of content.
Oh my God! What an talk about egos running wild, out of control. You know what I mean?
President-elect of Utopia.
Yes, exactly. President-elect of Utopia. There you go. Well, it's always a pleasure working with you, Jenny. You know that.
Yes, we always learn so much from each other. There's a lot of history here.
You do a good job, dude.
Thank you. Okay, this is Censored Radio, Real Talk Live, and I appreciate all of you for listening to our back and forth about what happened at the press conference. It's good information. Thank you, Doc Holliday.
Thank you, Jenny.
Okay, we're going to log off here from here, and I appreciate all of you for listening. Okay, let's see.
Hopefully that works.
Yeah, right.
Thank you for listening to Censored Talk Radio, part of the Amateur Radio Network.